Dude, I was so upset. I didn't realize until I posted the picture on Instagram. And I write, Discovery wasn't a great beer. And I'm looking at the picture. That fucking says IPA on it. How did I not notice? Because I opened the bag when we left the Bennies just to make sure. And I saw the green label. And I was like, perfect. We got it. And we're sitting here pouring it, tasting it. None of us looked at the fucking label. Jack was saying stuff about IPAs. And I'm thinking maybe he read the bottle, but just never said anything. Mm-hmm. But they look like identical shades of green.
Mm-hmm. Embarrassing, really.
And I think the IPA on Beer Advocate's website got a lower score. So the Discovery, I'd like to try the Discovery Amber Ale like we intended. And it's supposed to be a higher score than the IPA. It's still 66, but
I feel like that IPA was just a sign that we shouldn't drink anything from them.
I don't know.
Because
I think they've got better beers.
I don't know about that, man.
Maybe I'll buy one bottle when I have a car and next time I'm at Benny's. I'll buy one bottle if I can find it, and then we can just taste it and do like a bonus
episode. Yeah. Redemption arc.
Yes.
Welcome to what is this? The 40 or the 50th? Or what are we on now?
Jumping around. 45.
Yeah, 45th. Yeah, 45th. We're on the 45th episode of Beer and Fear. My name's Paige.
My name's Zach.
This is a very aggressive episode. Our topic is asphyxiation or asphyxia.
Mm-hmm. That was on our list.
It was?
It was.
Oh, hey, cool.
It's interesting. First you're choosing death, then you're choosing asphyxia.
I did claustrophobia, and then I did asphyxia.
Jeez, some of the dark episodes.
Well, Beer and Fear, baby.
Bill said he was excited to check out claustrophobia. Oh, wait, no. What was the last one we just did? Green River Killer.
Yeah.
He's excited to check that one out.
Oh, was he not excited for claustrophobia? I thought that was a really nice episode.
No, I think you like that one too. But it was funny. Amy's filling me in.
Everyone's got to be your fan. Why can't I have fans?
No, he likes your episodes too.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm funny too.
You're hilarious, Paige.
Thanks, I needed that. Tell me about your week, bud. Anything new?
How was my week? I started training.
Oh, yeah.
At work, so I started on Sunday. That's fun.
He means he's training other people, not he's training.
Yeah, correct. Good distinction. I am training other people now after having worked there for just over 2 years. It feels like not enough time, but it seems to be going well so far. I've got a trainee who's like knows what they're doing, pretty competent, in my opinion, ready to be off on their own. I'm glad they put me with someone not like brand new, so I'd probably go insane. But I'm having a lot of fun. It's good. It's different. It's a nice change for me at work. So the only downside is that I don't have as much time to get personal things done at work. So like I used to do my research at work for episodes, and I did it last night when I got home at like 1 a.m.
You silly bean.
Crammed all my research in last minute. But
I'll cram you in last minute.
But that's fun. Besides that, since last episode, I've just been working. I took my stitches out last night.
I saw.
Yeah.
Didn't the doctor tell you not to do that?
I don't know. I don't think he explicitly told me not to.
Didn't he say you were supposed to wait a while?
No, he said 7 days.
Oh, 7 days. Okay.
It was 6 days. And I mean.
Oh, he was talking about the scarring would take a while.
Yes.
That's right.
Scarring will take a few months. But yeah, he said generally I think they say like 5 to 7 days. You should wait 7 days. You should wait a little bit longer just because it was, I guess, a deeper gash. But
don't talk about your gash.
I was trying to figure out how I was going to get this done because I didn't want to go all the way back to Edwards in Naperville. Mm-hmm. I couldn't go to my primary doctor because he's booked until next month. and then I didn't want to go to urgent care because they'd probably charge me.
Oh, up the wazoo.
Yeah. So I looked at it online. I was like, is this really hard to do? No, it's not. So I did it on my own.
No, it's not.
I had a martini, and then, I took my stitches out of my face.
Wait, did you keep the stitches?
No.
Damn it.
You weirdo. No, I did not.
I'll add them to my Zach shrine.
But it looks good, right?
Yeah, the scarring's not bad.
Yeah. It's
kind of looks like a badass.
Healing up pretty well. Yeah,
I dig it.
Definitely didn't need more scars on my face after the ones that I got when I was little.
No, don't worry. You look good. It's like a whole vibe.
So it saved me a trip and saved me some money. So it wasn't too hard. That was it. That's all I got. You?
Thanks for asking.
I just assumed you would just jump in.
Unpacking, working, and I'm going to Vegas. That's
You're going to Vegas.
Yeah.
You're leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, I leave tomorrow pretty early.
By the time you listen to this, she's back.
Yes.
But
yeah.
Exciting.
But I'm pretty excited about it. Get to see my parents renew their vows. Very beautiful. And I get to go to Vegas. And my sisters are doing a thing at a pretty popular, like world-renowned tattoo shop called Coolsville Tattoo. They do $10 tattoos.
Okay.
So I'm going and getting 2 new tattoos.
Excellent.
So I'm pretty excited about
Jealous.
that.
Are you going to gamble?
Yeah, but I'm like probably just going to do like the penny slots and just be like, oh, I gambled, and then just go to the pool. I don't have like an allure to gambling. I don't find it like, oh my God, this is fun, the risk. And I don't know how to play poker. I don't know how to play blackjack. I don't know any of that.
They're so much fun.
I don't get it. So like, and it's like, oh, be a badass, count your cards. It's like, what does that mean? I'm so confused.
I don't know. I definitely, you can obsess over it and like try to get really good at it. But I feel like if I got to go to Vegas, I would want to try and gamble and do like all the different games, try blackjack, try roulette, try slots, and not be good at it. And if I lose money, I lose money. And I'll be, they say whenever you go to gamble, be prepared to lose money. Never be prepared to win.
Yeah, I'd rather just do the slots.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about like the card games at all.
They're
so
fun.
I would lose exorbitant amount of money. I would bet something and it would be like a large sum and they'd be like, oh my God, she must have good cards.
Yeah, you could throw people off for how new you are.
Because I just don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, we're going to play blackjack. And I'm just like, I've got my poker face. It's just like, I know what I'm doing. I swear.
Excellent.
No one can tell what kind of cards I have because I don't even know what kind of cards I have.
What is that, a 4?
I don't know. So that's what's going on for me.
Exciting.
Very much so.
What percentage of unpacking have you finished?
I have I sold my mirror.
Okay.
And I sold my 43-inch TV. So my smaller one, I finally got those out of there. So I still have boxes that I need to get to, but I needed to clear out some space.
Yeah.
Because it was just so crowded.
Pretty cramped in there.
It was a little bit. Yeah. So I cleared out some space. It's much better now.
Cool. I want to stop by and check it out.
Yeah, you can help me unpack.
For sure.
We are doing a brewery we've done already.
Okay.
Saint Laurent again.
Saint Laurent again. All right.
This is what happens when I buy my beers in bulk in one go. I just see like labels that I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And I don't check the brewery. I'm like, oh, what could this be?
Well, we've both beers we've tried from Saint Laurent have been incredible.
Exactly.
So I'm excited.
Well, didn't you just put the Terror Dome at your like number 1?
Yeah, number 1.
Okay, so this one I'm pretty excited about. It's pretty interesting. There's not a huge connection though. This is called Apricot Grunt. I'm not going to go over Saint Laurent because we did it already, but they don't have a brewery. They are inspired by craft brewers, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
We all know the
Saint Laurent story.
Yeah, the jive. It is an apricot cobbler kettle sour ale.
Whoa. I am so excited for this. A sour. Get to do another sour. That's exciting. This sounds like something we've never had before.
So, Apricot Grunt came out September 15th, 2020.
Cool.
It's our new fruited sour packed with fresh juicy apricots and finished with cinnamon graham crackers and vanilla beans. Warm notes of baked crumble, waves of apricot jam. This one is perfect for the soon approaching cool nights and crisp mornings because this came out in...
All right, we're in summer now.
So it's a sour Wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
Because BRV says it's a Berliner Weiss.
Oh. Okay.
It doesn't have a score. No rating. Average is 4.12. And its ABV is 6.6%.
How many ratings? If it averages 4.12, how many ratings is that?
3.
Oh, 3 ratings? Mm-hmm. All right. Still a solid score.
Very small ratings, though.
Yeah. Apricot, say it again. It's an apricot, something with graham cracker or something?
So it's fresh, juicy apricots with cinnamon, graham cracker, and vanilla beans.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
That's it.
Cool.
Oh, shit. I did that wrong.
What?
It's Blackberry Grunt, not Apricot Grunt. Their labels are like the same. They have bears on them. I have to redo that.
We're we're on a roll for talking about beers that we're actually not drinking on the show.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
So Blackberry Grunt.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the actual can.
Silly Paige. Okay, it's still the same thing basically. It's Berliner Weiss, but the difference is the ABV is 7%. And this one has an average score or an average rating of 3.83, but it only has 2 reviews.
Okay.
Okay, so Blackberry Grunt is the second addition to their cobbler-inspired fruit beers. This one came out May 12th. That makes more sense as to why it was on the shelves.
Okay. Oh, this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Bright and tart berry, warming cinnamon, rich vanilla brings you back to the easy days of mom's fresh-baked summer pies cooling on the patio. The color is very interesting.
I bet it's going to be purple.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not a clue.
Well, this is cool. 'Cause it's a little more fitting for summer, which we are in.
Makes a little more sense.
So
It's got a little bear in a well with a little hat,
Like a little hat.
a little bucket hat.
Blackberry Cobbler Sour Ale, Urban Brew Labs.
Oh,
is
shit.
where it was brewed. I think that was where they went to that wedding.
And
Urban
the
Brew
artwork
Labs.
is by Hugo Trejo.
Same guy.
Hugo Trejo's got a lot of skills.
7% ABV. Exciting.
I can smell it already.
Look at the color,
Oh my god, that smells so good.
bruh.
It looks like fruit punch. I want to wear this. Like I want to bathe in this.
I just want to keep smelling.
That is so good.
We're drinking this out of wine glasses because I don't have sour. Look at that.
That is a deep red. That's almost magenta. Oh my god, it smells just like blackberries. Oh, holy crap. I just want to drink this so bad right now. My mouth is watering.
Yeah, just overwhelmingly berry smell. It looks like wine. It's got the color of a, deep wine.
Very deep.
And the smell is
Still carbonated,
incredible.
though.
So
Very
sweet.
carbonated. It just smells like pure blackberries. A little bit of raspberry smell to it, kind of. But,
Yeah.
like if you were to go pick a blackberry off of a bush and just like bite into it, it just smells like that.
Incredible. I'm excited.
You can taste every part of it.
Oh my goodness.
What the fuck? It's the perfect type of sour.
It really is unbelievable.
You can taste the cinnamon. You can taste the vanilla.
Yep.
They are so good at honing down what they are brewing.
And the finish is just so pleasant. It's just sweet
Yes.
and crisp and bright.
It's
at the end.
refreshing.
Yeah, it leaves you wanting to go back for more. Perfect amount of carbonation and tingle. It's not overwhelming.
I feel like I'm biting into a pie.
Yes. It's like juice essentially.
It is.
I wouldn't,
but it's still got that little twang.
Yeah, a little
tang.
fermenty, yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like less than the beer you were allergic to, the fruit punch, brunch punch. Less so than brunch punch. I feel like brunch punch had a little more sourness to it. Not as much fruit. This has definitely more fruit than brunch punch did. That was still a very good beer that I enjoyed, but this is like taken that to another level, in my opinion. And for being a sour beer, a sour ale, not overwhelming at all. It's perfectly balanced. Sweetness, sour, they just work together.
Have you had a burp yet?
I had one earlier, but no complaints.
Love it. Even the burp is good.
This is great. 3 for 3, guys.
Saint Laurent needs all the love it can get.
You are killing it.
They honestly are.
Jeez. Deserve more attention and appreciation than you guys are getting, honestly.
Now I'm very curious about apricot grunt. I'm imagining.
I guess you could make an argument about asphyxia. You know, if you're stuck in a well like that for a while.
Yeah. I was gonna say that because I thought it was apricot grunt, so I was like, they both start with A.
Apricot asphyxia.
It's one and the same.
The letter A.
Look out. What would this pair well with?
Something not sweet. Maybe something creamy. Maybe not something like tart and sweet, but something creamy. I was thinking like ice cream, maybe. Like vanilla ice cream.
Because it's themed after a cobbler.
Yeah. I don't know. Something, you know, opposite end. Yeah, I think opposite end of the spectrum. Something not sweet and tart. So something a little more basic. And when I say basic, I mean the opposite of acidic.
When you say sweet and tart, I'm thinking opposite being a big old fucking piece of steak.
Sure, yeah. Maybe not necessarily savory, but I don't know. Like maybe like a salad?
Can't imagine this with a salad.
I don't know.
It'd have to be like a vinaigrette salad.
Good question. Asphyxia, or asphyxiation, is a condition of deficient supply of oxygen to the body that arises from abnormal breathing. An example of asphyxia is choking. Asphyxia causes a generalized hypoxia, which affects primarily the tissues and organs. I believe hypoxia is like the lack of oxygen in your bloodstream. There are many circumstances that can induce asphyxia, all of which are characterized by an inability of an individual to acquire sufficient oxygen through breathing for an extended period of time. Asphyxia can also cause coma or death. In 2015, about 9.8 million cases of unintentional suffocation occurred, which resulted in 35,600 deaths. So it's up there. The word asphyxia is from ancient Greek, a, meaning without, and sphyxis, meaning squeeze, or throb of heart. It says squeeze and then throb of heart.
Throb your heart.
Without throbbing of heart.
Interesting.
Situations that can cause asphyxia include, but are not limited to, airway obstruction, the constriction or obstruction of airways, such as from asthma, laryngospasm, or simple blockage from the presence of foreign materials, from being in environments where oxygen is not readily available, such as underwater, in a low oxygen atmosphere, or in a vacuum, or environments where sufficiently oxygenated air is present but cannot be adequately breathed because of air contamination such as excessive smoke. Makes sense? Other causes of oxygen deficiency include, but are not limited to, acute respiratory distress syndrome, carbon monoxide inhalation, contact with certain chemicals, drowning, drug overdose, exposure to extreme low pressure or vacuum from spacesuit damage. It's pretty specific. Hanging, self-induced hypocapnia. Self-induced hypocapnia.
Hypocapnia.
That is the reduced carbon dioxide in the blood by hyperventilation, as in shallow water or deep water blackout, and the choking game. You know the choking game?
I do know the choking game.
It's fucking dumb. Don't play the choking game.
Kids
that are listening to this.
Yes, young children that listen to this R-rated podcast about alcohol.
I had people in high school who played that. I watched them play it.
What about Chubby Bunny?
Oh, yeah, that's also dangerous. GMM did Chubby Bunny. I'm surprised one of them didn't die. That's also dangerous. Inert gas asphyxiation, congenital central hypoventilation syndrome, respiratory diseases, sleep apnea, a seizure which stops breathing activity, strangling, breaking the windpipe, or prolonged exposure to chlorine gas. Smothering. Smothering is a mechanical obstruction of the flow of air from the environment into the mouth and or nostrils, for instance by covering the mouth and nose with a hand, pillow, or plastic bag. Smothering can either be partial or complete, where partial indicates that the person being smothered is able to inhale some air, although less than required. In a normal situation, smothering requires at least partial obstruction of both the nasal cavities and the mouth to lead to asphyxia. In some cases, when performing certain routines, smothering is combined with simultaneous compressive asphyxia. One example is overlay, in which I didn't know this had a name, in which an adult accidentally rolls over onto an infant during co-sleeping. An accident that often goes unnoticed and is mistakenly thought to be sudden infant death syndrome. Didn't know it was called overlay. Sad. Other accidents involving a similar mechanism are cave-ins, or when an individual is buried in sand or grain. In homicidal cases, the term burking is often ascribed to a killing method that involves simultaneous smothering and compression of the torso. The term burking comes from the method William Burke and William Hare used to kill their victims during the Westport murders. They killed the usually intoxicated victims by sitting on their chests and suffocating them by putting a hand over their nose and mouth, while using the other hand to push the victim's jaw up. I should have asked if you talked about that. The corpses had no visible injuries and were supplied to medical schools for money. I'm going to talk about a couple types of asphyxia. There's compressive asphyxia, also called compression, is mechanically limiting expansion of the lungs by compressing the torso, preventing breathing. Dramatic asphyxia or crush asphyxia usually refers to compressive asphyxia resulting from being crushed or pinned under a large weight or force or in a crowd rush. An example of traumatic asphyxia is a person who jacks up a car to work on it from below and is crushed by the vehicle when the jack fails. Constrictor snakes, such as boa constrictors, kill through slow compressive asphyxia, tightening their coils every time the prey breathes out, rather than squeezing forcefully. I didn't know that. Anytime the prey exhales, it squeezes. Snakes are badass.
Snakes are badass.
In fatal crowd disasters, compressive asphyxia from being crushed against the crowd causes all or nearly all deaths rather than blunt trauma from trampling. I read this and was instantly reminded of a Pearl Jam concert in Roskilde, Denmark in 2000, which resulted in 9 deaths and 26 injuries due to the crowd rushing to the front row of general admission. They were playing their set. They got about maybe 3 or 4 songs in. Crowd rushed forward. Security had to stop, and that was the end of their set. And then they canceled a lot of shows after that. They made a song called Love Boat Captain, which references the tragedy with the line, quote, "Lost 9 friends we'll never know 2 years ago today." When performed in concert, lead singer Eddie Vedder modifies the lyric to reflect the passage of time since the tragedy. So I'll say, "Lost 9 friends we never know 10 years ago today, 15 years ago today." It's a cool song. In confined spaces, people are forced to push against each other. Evidence from bent steel railings in several fatal crowd accidents has shown horizontal forces of over 4,500 newtons, or 1,000 pounds of pressure. That's insane. Crowd rushing forward and bending steel railings with 1,000 pounds of pressure. Positional or restraint asphyxia is when a person is restrained and left alone prone, such as in a police vehicle, and is unable to reposition themselves in order to breathe. The death can be in the vehicle or following loss of consciousness, to be followed by death while in a coma, having presented with anoxic brain damage. The asphyxia can be caused by facial compression, neck compression, that's relevant, or chest compression. This occurs mostly during restraint and handcuffing situations by law enforcement, including psychiatric incidents. The weight of the restraints doing the compression may contribute to what is attributed to positional asphyxia. Therefore, passive deaths following custody restraint that are presumed to be the result of positional asphyxia may actually be examples of asphyxia occurring during the restraint process. There's perinatal asphyxia. Perinatal asphyxia is the medical condition resulting from deprivation of oxygen, hypoxia, to a newborn infant long enough to cause apparent harm. It results most commonly from a drop in maternal blood pressure or interference during delivery with blood flow to the infant's brain. This can occur as a result of inadequate circulation or perfusion, impaired respiratory effect, or inadequate ventilation. There's mechanical asphyxia. Classification of different forms of asphyxia vary among literature, with differences in defining the concept of mechanical asphyxia being the most obvious. In DeMayo and DeMayo's 2001 textbook on forensic pathology. Mechanical asphyxia is caused by pressure from outside the body restricting respiration. According to DeMayo and DeMayo, mechanical asphyxia encompasses positional asphyxia, traumatic asphyxia, and human pile deaths. In Schrum and Ramsey's 2007 textbook on forensic pathology, mechanical asphyxia occurs when any mechanical means cause interference with the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the body. According to Schrum and Ramsey, mechanical asphyxia encompasses smothering, choking, positional asphyxia, traumatic asphyxia, wedging, strangulation, and drowning. And then lastly, there's erotic asphyxiation, which I'm not going to talk about.
Why not? A lot of famous people died from that.
The only note I have in here is the 6th episode, season 2 of BoJack Horseman. Autoerotic asphyxiation and celebrity deaths are recurrent discussions. Do you remember that episode?
Mm-hmm. Unlike you, I've finished the series.
BoJack has that thing set up in his room.
Yes,
This is how I die.
Just to get her to say she loved them. What an unsavory character.
No, that's all I have to say about erotic asphyxiation. If you have more to add, you can. But
I don't. I got a list of people that choked to death and the things they choked on. 405 BC, Sophocles choked on a grape seed and a cup of wine.
Now, what are you gonna do for a choking episode?
Why would you do choking as an episode?
Because it's different than asphyxia.
I guess it is.
Continue.
No, it's fine. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do this episode anymore. I give up. I quit. I retire.
I'm brainstorming here.
I don't want to do a choking episode.
We don't have to do one. Yeah. I think choking was on the list, but this it ties in.
I can do something else.
Uh-oh.
I have other stuff. I have hanging. I have notes on hanging.
Hanging can be its own episode. I think hanging would be a better episode than choking.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't let me interrupt.
Stop you from doing it in the first place.
I can taste the vanilla in this.
I told you could taste the vanilla. Circa 200, Lucius Fabius Silo,
Lucius Fabius.
Perished from choking on a single hair in a draught of milk. 1065, Godwin, Earl of Wessex, was 55, was reported to have choked to death at a Winchester banquet with Edward the Confessor after asking God to witness his claimed innocence in the death of Edward's brother. Guess that didn't work out really well.
Guess he was guilty. How do you choke on a hair?
I don't really fucking know. 1960, Air Marshal Subroto Mukherjee.
Oh yeah, Subroto
Mukherjee,
Yeah.
49, first chief of the Air Staff of the Indian Air Force, died on 8th November of 1960 at Tokyo by choking on a piece of food lodged in his windpipe. 1967, Jimmy Fox was a Major League Baseball player. He died by choking on a bone. He was 59.
Maybe eating like a wing or something?
Maybe.
It's dangerous.
1970, Jimi Hendrix, 27, choked on his aspirated vomit while unconscious with barbiturates.
I know that guy.
I know that guy.
That's spoilers Breaking Bad, which you didn't watch. How Jesse's girlfriend dies.
She choked on a...
She aspirated on her own vomit. She was sleeping, and they had just done heroin. And she vomited.
I will not be watching Breaking Bad anytime soon. 1978, Dinglefoot. 72, well-known British politician and brother to future Labour Party leader Michael Foot, died in Hong Kong after choking on a bone in a chicken sandwich.
Dinglefoot and Michael Foot?
Dinglefoot and Michael Foot. 1983, Tennessee Williams died after choking on a bottle cap. He was 71.
He was trying to get the beer open, maybe, with his teeth. I just wanted to know what a bottle cap tasted like.
2017, American rapper Prodigy was 42. He died by accidental choking.
I didn't know Prodigy died from choking.
I didn't know you know who Prodigy was.
Oh, I'm thinking of The Prodigy. It's a band.
Oh. I was going to go into the choking game as well.
Sure.
So it refers to intentionally cutting off oxygen to the brain with the goal of inducing temporary loss of consciousness and euphoria. Limited research has been conducted regarding motivations for practicing the fainting game, although thrill-seeking has been identified as a risk factor, as has the perception that it is a low-risk activity. So reasons stated to do the choking game are peer pressure, curiosity, a belief that it can induce a brief sense of euphoria, and the prospect of intoxication.
I mean, you could say the same about drugs.
Yeah.
It sounds like why people try marijuana for the first time when they're young.
Yeah. Reasons for practice are distinct from erotic asphyxiation. Steve Field, chairman of the Royal College of General Practitioners in London, which... badass title, claims that the fainting game is pursued primarily by children and teens to get a high without taking drugs.
Yep. Children
Aren't playing this game for sexual gratification.
Right.
It is frequently confused with erotic asphyxiation, which is oxygen deprivation for sexual arousal. Unlike erotic asphyxiation, practice of the fainting game appears to be uncommon in adulthood.
Right.
There are two main mechanisms behind many variations of this practice, both resulting in cerebral hypoxia. Hypoxia. The two mechanisms tend to be confused with each other or treated as one, but are quite dissimilar, although both have the potential to cause permanent brain damage or death. The two mechanisms are strangulation and self-induced hypocapnia, and work as follows. So you went over strangulation, right?
Yeah, like the mechanical and constrictive asphyxia. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so a ligature such as a belt or rope around the neck or hands or arm pressure on the neck compresses the internal
Cardioid. Carotid.
You got it. Artery. Apart from the direct restriction of blood to the brain, there are two significant responses produced by pressing on the neck. Pressing on the carotid arteries also presses on the baroreceptors.
Sure.
These bodies then cause vasodilation.
Dilation, yeah.
Dilation. I'm nailing it. I did chug that beer. In the brain, leading to insufficient blood to perfuse the brain with oxygen and maintain consciousness. A message is also sent via the vagus nerve.
Vagus nerve.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I always go for the heart A. To the main pacemaker of the heart to decrease the rate and volume of the heartbeat, typically by a third. In some cases, there is evidence that this may escalate into asystole. You don't know? I don't know either. A form of cardiac arrest.
Oh.
That is difficult to treat. The second mechanism requires hyperventilation or forced overbreathing until symptoms of hypocapnia, such as tingling, lightheadedness, or dizziness, are felt, followed by a breath hold. This alone is enough to cause a blackout, but it is widely believed that the effect is enhanced if lung air pressure is increased by holding the breath hard or bearing down, such as tightening the diaphragm as in a forced exhalation while allowing no air to escape or having an assistant apply a bear hug. Mm-hmm. Have you ever blacked out from lack of air or oxygen? Have you ever blacked out in general?
No, I don't think I've ever passed out.
It is not fun. You feel like you are going to vomit.
I imagine. Yeah. Like all of your systems in your body are like on red alert and they fucking shut down and do some weird shit. Yeah, and then you faint.
It is not a good time. The hyperventilation leads to an excessive elimination of carbon dioxide, whereas no significant additional amounts of oxygen can be stocked in the body, as only carbon dioxide is responsible for the breathing stimulus after hyperventilation. Breath can be held longer until cerebral hypoxia occurs. The blood also becomes abnormally alkaline as a result of the excessive elimination of carbon dioxide. This subsequent rise in blood pH is termed alkalosis, I think. Alkalosis interferes with normal oxygen utilization by the brain. The symptoms of alkalosis are neuromuscular irritability, muscular spasms, tingling, and numbness of the extremities and around the mouth, and dizziness or giddiness, often interpreted as a sense of euphoria. Mm-hmm. In the body, alkalosis generally induces vasodilation, widening of the blood vessels, but in the brain alone, it causes vasoconstriction, narrowing of the blood cells, or vessels, sorry.
Interesting.
This vasoconstriction appears to be made even worse by a sudden increase in blood pressure caused by squeezing or holding the breath hard. The alkalosis-induced euphoria can be followed rapidly by hypoxia-induced unconsciousness. Because the brain cannot store reserves of oxygen and, unlike other organs, has an exceedingly low tolerance of oxygen deprivation, it is highly vulnerable if vasoconstriction is not reversed. Normally, if the brain is hypoxic, autonomous systems in the brain, in the body, divert blood to the brain at the expense of other organs. Because the brain is vasoconstricted, this mechanism is not available. Vasoconstriction is only reversed by the buildup of carbon dioxide in the blood through suspension of breathing. In some versions, the bear hug is replaced by pressure on the neck, in which case blackout is a hybrid of strangulation and self-induced hypocapnia. Or hippocapnia, I don't know which one. Are you just sniffing the beer?
It smells so fucking good. Yeah, so it's... Because I watched my friends do this in high school. It's less lack of oxygen. It's more just pressure on your carotid, which is the largest blood vessel that supplies blood to your brain. And then the lack of oxygen in your brain causes you to black out or pass out. And then once the person falls, unconscious, letting go of that pressure instantly relieves everything. And then the person can wake up generally pretty quickly. So I watched someone do this. They did a chokehold on someone. And all they had to do was, constrict a little bit. And about 6 seconds, 8 seconds is all it took. And then they kind of fell limp and they let go. And maybe about 2 to 3 seconds later, they came to again. And they were just very out of it. It wasn't fun to watch. But they were just, he volunteered to do it. And the dude who performed it was in martial arts and he knew how to do some crazy shit. So it was interesting. It's kind of scary, though.
You're interesting. An activity that deprives the brain of oxygen has the potential to cause moderate to severe brain cell death, leading to permanent loss of neurological function, ranging from difficulty in concentration or loss of short-term memory capacity through severe, lifelong mental disability to death. Statistics on fatalities and neurological damage are controversial. No definitive empirical study exists, although the indications are that the practice is a significant contributor to death and disability, particularly among male juveniles in most developed countries. Many believe that deaths are significantly underreported because of false attributions to suicide. One study by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, found sufficient evidence to indicate that since 1995, at least 82 youths between the age of 6 and 19 have died in the United States as a result of the game, being roughly 1% of the deaths attributed to suicide by suffocation in the same age group. The CDC encourages parents, educators, and healthcare providers to familiarize themselves with the signs of the game. These include a discussion of the game, bloodshot eyes, marks on the neck, severe headaches, disorientation after spending time alone, ropes, scarves, and belts tied to bedroom furniture or doorknobs found knotted on the floor, and unexplained presence of things like dog leashes, choke collars, and bungee cords.
Yeah, it would raise some questions for me as a parent.
Raise some alarms for me. Just kind of be like, Jimmy, what are you doing?
We don't have a dog.
Why do you have a choke collar? We don't have any pets. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's frightening. Don't play it.
Play Chubby Bunny, though. Don't. Please don't.
You could it's so easy to just go to Walmart and buy some of that compressed air. Just huff some of that, okay? It does the same thing. You don't have...
Preach, buddy.
Exactly. So
I want Chipotle.
we can get Chipotle right now.
We should.
Let's fucking do it. You want to... You finish the episode. I feel like I'm always doing it.
What are you talking about? What'd you think of the beer?
I meant... Yeah, I forgot that part.
Yeah.
I meant the rest of it after.
The important part. What'd you think of the beer?
I still have some in my glass.
I downed it.
Oh my goodness. Exactly as you said. Everything is in there. We've had beers in the past before where it's like, oh, this is a fruit ale, and there's no fruit at all in the beer. It's like hiding. But you talked about blackberry, cinnamon, vanilla. That's all there in the smell. I can smell all of those things, and they mingle together perfectly. And then the taste is the same.
I know.
They're
it's
all
like
present.
you get every single level of what they described, and I appreciate that so much. And Saint Laurent is just knocking it out of the fucking park.
This is incredible. Yeah, it definitely. I don't know. Between this and Terradome, it's a close.
Terradome was better.
I liked Terradome. I mean, and they're two different things. One's a sour ale. One's an actual like double dry hopped IPA. So they're very different.
Yeah.
Beers, but this is fuck. You guys are killing it. All right, props to you. This is an incredible beer. I loved it. Anything to add?
I agree with you. I think that it's impressive that you can taste every level of what they were trying to go through instead of just like listing it on the website and hoping that you could taste it. Like some beers that are just like, oh, this is citrus and passion fruit and mango. And it's like, I only taste hops.
Yeah.
This was delicious. It was well balanced. I mean, compare it to like Three Floyds, the sour ale that we tried. What was it called? The watermelon one.
Oh, was that Three Floyds? No, I don't think that was Three Floyds.
Pretty sure that was Three Floyds.
No, it was. Was that? No, that wasn't Hubbard's. I thought that was a new brewery.
I'm looking.
It was the Brunch Punch.
Secret Savages, Three Floyds. Why do you question me?
Oh, you're talking. Okay, sorry. So that was the Wild Ale. I thought you were talking about Maplewood's Brunch Punch.
No.
Okay.
No. Compare it to that sour.
Sure.
You know, where it was just like,
Yes.
this is
okay.
watermelon.
I get what you're saying.
But it's not good watermelon.
Yeah.
It's like too much.
Just too wild. Yeah.
It was too wild. And I know we're comparing different
Yeah,
types
that
of
was
beers.
its own kind of
it's
beer.
its own different style.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I get what you're saying.
yeah. It's well balanced and it's delicious from smell to taste overall and appearance wise as well. It's just very well done.
I want this as like a candle, you know?
I would wear it as a perfume.
Cinnamon, blackberry, vanilla. Perfect.
A little bit surprised by the cinnamon for it being like a summer beer. I don't really associate cinnamon with summer.
Sure. I think it works well with the other two flavors, though.
I mean, yeah, not to question that it doesn't work well, but I would have done like, if there was a way to get like a cream involved of some kind or like a lactose,
Yeah.
maybe make it a little bit different, but overall, great beer.
I'm upset that there's not more in this can.
You can have another. Feel free. I just have to save one for Zach or for Jack.
For Jack?
Yeah.
No, well, you should have the other one. It's your beer.
I won't drink it.
It's your...
You can have it.
All right.
Anyways, beerandfearcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, and in the dark alley down the street by your house watching you.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be the three toddlers stacked on top of each other in a trench coat.
With a hat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's us. Reach out if you have any questions.
All correspondence goes through that.
Yeah, through the toddler in the trench coat. Am I missing anything? Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. There's some numbers on our socials. That's kind of weird.
What?
There's numbers. There was like I don't know if you saw the post, but there was a 14, there was a 13, there was a 12.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, have a good day.